you seen Adam? This is absolutely amazing. Have you seen Traitors? It's fantastic. It's pathetic. I hate it. Haven't we got anything better to do than all think the same things about television? In fact, I'm probably going to go on social media after this show and say I hate it anyway.
Hello and welcome. Another week, another set of grumps with Kev. But first, Russell.
Lots and lots of people are moaning about their council tax increasing. So the average, I think, is about 5.5% across Britain, is what people are opening their bills to as we speak. But I want to talk about the very nature of council tax and how it really boils my wee, frankly.
Okay.
In that, if you look at how much council tax...
Your poor
Look
bladder.
at how much council tax is paid, about £2,100 per household on average, 20 million households in Britain. Of course, I'm sure Kevin will get onto this, not everybody pays it, depends who you are. But those of us that do pay it, what do we get for it?
Yeah, I was about to
What
ask that
happens?
very question.
So where I live, I get my rubbish picked up every Monday, which I can get somebody else to do for
Well,
about
that's a
15
record
quid.
for a start.
For
Every
about
Monday.
15 quid.
Every Monday.
But there's this huge town hall where I live in Brentwood, which costs a fortune.
Ah,
It's got about
Brentwood.
150 people in it. And I wonder what the hell they actually do for the money that we collectively pay them. I think we could abolish local authorities, abolish council tax, and no one would bloody notice.
Well, do you know what the chief executive of, I think it's Sunderland, earns? £650,000 a year.
Yeah.
So when you say what do they do with the money?
He's in Sunderland, though.
Well, yeah, but what? Yeah, well, that's
In
a lot of
Sunderland,
money up there.
That's
when
like
you
earning
say
£8 million down
yeah,
here.
when you say what do they do with the money with this council tax? These town hall tyrants, these tin pot tyrants who run the boroughs of Britain. They take the money and the first thing they do with it is pay themselves very handsomely and all their mates very handsomely as well. So they divide it between themselves. Most local authorities, the chief executives of most local authorities earn around about twice, at least twice as much as the Prime Minister. Why would you get 3 times as much to run Sunderland as you get to run the country? We're being ripped off by town hall tyrants.
But think about what they actually do. They process planning applications, generally very badly. Anyone that's in the property business will know that if you put a planning application in, it either gets lost or delayed, or generally you get a no when you should get a yes. So the planning system across local authorities is completely dysfunctional. They occasionally put a play area in, maybe every 10 or 15 years. What else do they do? Cut the grass and pick up the rubbish.
And I think they also actually have a squad that goes out to dig potholes to make sure there are many potholes.
Yeah. So for I pay about £3,500 a year, and I generally can't see what I get beyond about 500 quid's worth of value.
I get a massive pain in the arse every time I have to pay it. But no, I don't see any benefit to it at all. I never have.
So imagine how much money could be saved across the country, at least not the fact that, I talk about 5.7% or whatever it is as the average council tax increase across Britain. Angela Rayner, of course, has allowed some local authorities, mainly Labour, to increase council tax to their population by up to 15% in 1 year.
But 15%. You know what's interesting? So I've opened a number of restaurants that fall into different boroughs and councils and all that sort of stuff. And when you have to go to a borough council to, plead your case for your licence or your outside chairs or that kind of thing, it never ceases to amaze me, the people who are sitting there in positions of authority, in things like cargo shorts.
Yeah, well, they're at home. Most of them are. Lovely, they're at home.
But in lovely kind of, sort of architectural, historical buildings that are dotted around London, for example.
Yeah, with the boiler on full blast.
Sitting in a chair that...
It's true.
You have a man sitting in a chair who, I guarantee you 20 years ago, he wouldn't have been allowed to if he wasn't wearing a suit. Now they're in cargo shorts and a lumberjack jacket.
I have an admission, and that is that I was a councillor for 8 years. And I can tell you, I walked around the town hall. And when I say walking at a reasonable pace because I had things to do, the rest of the employees
Sounds
there...
almost like a mince.
No, but the rest of the... a quick mince. The rest of the employees there would slouch around, almost like, Zombie Dawn of the Dead, that film.
Yeah.
They're like zombies just walking around really, really slowly. When it gets to 1 o'clock, they all disappear. So no matter what's happening, no matter what phones are ringing, that's it. And 4 o'clock on a Friday still, like it's the 1970s. You remember early day closing in local high street? So 4 o'clock on a Friday now they go. I had the gall once to suggest to the chief exec at Brentwood Council, why don't we open when our public want us to open, like maybe later in the evening? Yeah, no. Maybe Saturday mornings, and they literally laughed. They literally laughed at me.
And you wonder why you're not there anymore. Kevin. Leaf blowers.
Yeah, leaf blowers.
Please do tell.
Leaf blowers. Now, there's two things about these things. You know, they take a perfectly quiet, nice, civilized activity, sweeping leaves, and turn it into a cacophonous racket. And the other thing about them is, a little known fact, they are incredibly, not that I give a toss about this kind of thing, but they are incredibly harmful to the environment. They spew out in half an hour like more fumes, more carbon emissions than like a juggernaut.
Well, that's good then, right?
Yeah.
Not if
Hotter summers.
Not if they're electric.
No, it's not
leaf
good.
blowers. If they're electric leaf blowers.
No, but they're not. They're
doing
normally two-stroke engines. aren't
Yeah.
they?
Well, you know, look.
10 horsepower.
Electric still takes power, and they're still noisy.
I fully understand your hatred of the timing of a leaf blower, but I, as you know, live in the middle of a wood.
What, so you go around blowing leaves in the wood?
Damn right I do.
Why don't you let the wind
With an electric leaf blower, I've got my leaf blower, I'm there, I'm blowing the leaves
Hang on, you
back
live in a wood.
into the wood.
But your leaf blowing must take you months, and then you just have to start again.
It's a year-round operation. It's like painting
painting
the
the-
Forth Bridge.
Yeah. But you see, the thing is, that's the other objection I have to leaf blowers. So
people who
they're
own them?
incredibly noisy, they're incredibly bad for the environment, and also they don't seem to me to do the job, because
they're an
sweeping up
outlet
leaves
for
is about
Mexicans.
sweeping them up, putting them in plastic bags
taking
or
them away.
bags and getting rid of
It's
them.
just moving.
Whereas all that leaf blowers do is redistribute them.
Well, you know what it does? It
Very
redistributes-
effectively.
It
Somewhere
redistributes
else.
Tell you,
to the
very
neighbour's
effective.
house.
Distribute.
Your neighbour ends up with a big
distributes
pile
to
of
the
leaves at their fence about that high.
I think they should be made illegal. They should be made illegal.
Illegal.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, I mean, maybe you'd like to, Kev, set up a WhatsApp group about leaf blowers.
What, an
and your
anti-leaf
hatred
blowing
of
WhatsApp
group. I mean, I've got to be clear, though, I won't be joining it anytime soon because I cannot stand WhatsApp groups.
Well, you're not a member of any.
I am a member of many, all of which are
You can't
silent.
stand.
But you
all
ignore.
of which are silent. Well, there's that
Why don't you
kind
leave them then?
Well, you can silence them.
You can mute them, can't you?
You can mute them. That's the word I was looking for. Muting them. But you were saying you used a terrible word in one.
Well, I was
the
going to
other
say,
day.
WhatsApp groups, you need to be very, very careful, because Meta, it would seem, are snooping. So, yes, I did
I thought it was
use-
encrypted.
Private, it might
closed.
be encrypted when it comes to, I don't know, the National Crime Agency, the FBI and the police not being able to see what you've said, which is, one argument, I suppose. But when it comes to Meta themselves, so I happen to, let's just say, deliver an unsavoury but quite well-used kind of word that some of us use as an insult, some
See
as
you
a term
next
of endearment.
Tuesday.
It was to a bunch of mates in a WhatsApp group. And about 20 minutes later, I got a notification from WhatsApp.
Bunch of
Well, that's it. Well, they are. You've met my mates, obviously. You've obviously
Do you
met.
know what? I knew the minute we started this
Anyway,
that Kev
no swearing.
would not
No
be able.
swearing.
Don't
You
say
would
that
not
word.
be able to not say that word.
Come on.
Anyway, so look, I didn't say it.
I even
typed
said it politely.
I typed it, not said it. 20 minutes later, I get a notification from WhatsApp that basically I have been suspended for infringing their rules on the basis of it being, outside their guidelines.
One of the
offensive
great
and so on.
words available to humanity.
Well, it's just
you
an
were
Anglo.
suspended.
But this is the point, right? It's just an Anglo-Saxon word. Some of us use it as a term of endearment. I often
do.
walk up to a mate of mine and go, "All right, morning, you."
Yeah.
Like we all do, right?
Yeah.
But the sinister thing here is whether it's just
It's all in the
groups
inflection.
or whatever, is that Mark Zuckerberg at Meta is sitting there with a little earpiece in, listening and reading our conversations clearly. So be careful what you do in WhatsApp groups because it's not.
I find him creepy.
These social media companies that should be banned from using algorithms. And that's what they're doing. They're subjecting
hold on
all
a second.
WhatsApp conversations to an algorithm, and if a word like that crops up that you use perfectly innocently, suddenly
red
you're
buzzer
banned.
goes off.
So the algorithm doesn't make any sensible judgments.
But
it just bans.
before we ban
one size
that,
fits all.
can we actually just ban WhatsApp groups?
So what is it particularly got against them then? The fact
Well,
that
it's
they're
that
pinging
thing.
all the time.
It's that thing where people they join it. I mean, if there's more than, I don't mind one or two with some close friends in where you're
here's the thing.
communicating
But here's the
something
thing,
that you're
Mark,
going to
there
do
are-
together.
Can I just suggest, just as an amendment to your motion, sir,
Yes.
that we actually just grade them because I think some WhatsApp groups are worse than others. So
Oh, yeah.
mates WhatsApp groups, close mates, that's fine, right? Because you all have a bit of a laugh, bit of banter. Don't go too far. Don't say rude words. However, the worst WhatsApp groups are neighbourhood WhatsApp groups.
Well, there's neighbourhood WhatsApp groups. There are. We have. I took myself out of it. Somebody put me in a closed footpath group
What?
Somebody had closed a footpath near us. They put me in
They
that
had a
group.
WhatsApp group about a closed footpath.
Yeah, about a closed footpath.
What, to debate the merits or otherwise of the footpath being closed?
Yes.
Wow.
And what we were going to do
Sounds
about it.
riveting, and I can't believe you left it.
Well, because I have a life.
But you see, the thing is, Mike, it's because you're a man of leisure. You don't really work. Those of us who have to make our own money and didn't inherit it from our very famous father.
Hold on a second. Jesus.
We have jobs and we have
Sweating
to have
my kishkas off my whole adult life, and O'Sullivan has come in and painted a picture of me which is completely incorrect.
Yes.
And somehow I found myself justifying myself to a Kevin O'Sullivan comment.
No, seriously, they can be useful for work.
Yes.
So I have a WhatsApp group for my show, The Political Asylum, every night, Monday to Friday, 7 until 10 p.m. on Talk. I highly recommend
Particularly
it.
Monday.
So
I have a WhatsApp group for my business, Home Slice Pizza, with three.
No good. Blew it.
You see, I'm not the great promoter that you are, Ken.
Yeah. But it can be useful for work. And I have a WhatsApp group of my mates at Fulham Football Club. I quite enjoy the post-match analysis.
Defeats.
It is a bit nerdy, though. You're right.
But it's that thing when you go, you have been invited to join a group. I don't ever think, yes. I think, no.
I have to
this
confess,
gonna be
I think
about?
I'm probably a member of at least 20 WhatsApp.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, terrible, isn't it? But you're right. Some of them.
I bet you're in some nerdy car ones.
I'm definitely in some nerdy car ones. There's nothing wrong with that. Nerdy car groups. They're
Nerdy
fantastic.
car
Well, if you stick around
What about
long
men in
enough,
lycra? Do you think that?
Well, speak for yourself, Wogan.
if you stick around long enough, you'll end up in a kind of a White House
dwarf
secret
juggling
WhatsApp
group,
Yeah.
remember?
Yeah.
planning attacks on the Houthi rebels.
Pete, what's his face? His war plans. Yeah.
Pete XF.
All right, so you don't like them.
That's what I mean. Part of it is you can make a massive mistake by including someone in a group who shouldn't be in.
What you then slag off.
Yeah.
That you then slag off,
Which
or
we've all done in
perhaps
email,
share
right?
state secrets with.
Also, at this stage, still, if you think about remember the WhatsApp groups to do with the COVID group crisis that Isabel Oakeshott revealed, Matt Hancock and all that lot, what they were really doing during the COVID crisis, which was excruciating, useless, didn't have a clue what they were up to.
No.
So that revealed the dangers of sort of spilling your guts into WhatsApp
Well,
groups.
even worse, it's the Labour Party.
And yet, people in all walks of life
Nobody learns.
still make the mistake of spilling their guts in WhatsApp
I like
groups.
that one where, if for some reason you might post a word or something inappropriate, you can very quickly delete it. But what I like is the people who don't understand that and they put something terrible in a group that isn't the wrong group. They go, oh, sorry, wrong group.
Well, you can have a thing in WhatsApp. I don't think you can have it in groups called disappearing messages. So a lot of politicians I know that I have
The
on WhatsApp
24-hour thing.
Yeah, the messages disappear so they can't be pulled
where?
over the coals. Or back into Mark Zuckerberg's front
Mark
room.
Zuckerberg's underwear.
Yeah, into his lair. He's sitting there stroking his cat, reading all your messages.
Do you think while he's sitting there stroking his cat, he is wrestling with a stick-on lid, Russell?
Well, can I demonstrate?
Go on.
So what
are you going to do?
What I would like you to do.
This is a really good one.
What I would like you to do, Mark,
Russell.
I want you to bring me the person that is responsible for this atrocity, right? Look, so in the old days...
hug them?
In the old days...
No, he's right.
Hang on, listen. In the old days, you buy a bottle of water, take the lid off, the lid will go in the bin, or recycling, whatever, and you drink the water. Now, thanks to... Apparently this is an EU thing, and I thought we left the EU. These lids are tethered to the bottle, so you can pull them off, but if the water is of a sufficient level, as you pull them off, the water goes all over.
Yes.
So look, let me demonstrate. So, actually trying to.
I wouldn't be able to
No,
work
no,
this out unless you demonstrated it. I'd be in big trouble.
But no, many people say.
No, I'm with you, mate. It's a
Not
really
big deal.
good one.
It is a good
Pass
big
me
deal.
the bottle. Pass me the bottle.
He's absolutely right. But what about when you get big bottles, orange juice and things like that, and
Now, look.
it all comes out everywhere?
Yeah, it does.
Look. Solved.
No, but why is it there in the first place?
Yeah, but what about when
It's
if you've got a bottle of orange juice or something like that, and you want to pour it out, and the bloody top's there, and it all goes everywhere?
I bet he voted.
Russell's exactly right.
I bet he voted Remain, didn't you?
No, hold on a second.
I bet you did, didn't you?
No, look.
Or you won't answer.
What I'm saying is that I get what you're saying. That is a pain in the
No,
arse.
that's not-
And it doesn't help with the whole recycling process because that ain't and this is.
Well, no, but they are. Yeah, they're recycled in different ways and different processes. So what is the point?
But
in
the
them
worst,
being tethered?
the worst offender of that is when you get one of the larger bottles,
That's what Kev's just saying.
Yeah.
and you're pouring it. And
He never listens to what I say.
doesn't.
So I've got something to say. I'm going to say it, whatever
Kev.
happens.
It's you, Kev. I stopped listening about 3 months ago.
I have that effect on people.
So, Mr. Wogan, right? Can I just say, look, you're right. There's a workaround. Now, of course, we can all do things that mitigate the imposition of such a thing. We shouldn't have to mitigate the imposition in the first place. Just leave our bottles alone.
But it's a save the planet thing to make sure the plastic top.
How are we saving the planet?
But no, save
Well,
turtles.
you're not. Like most save the planet measures doesn't
But
have
the
any
thing
effect
is,
at all.
anyone who works in recycling will tell you that unless you have hands, actual bodies, to separate things out, they don't get separated out, and they go, oh, there's not enough people in today, but landfill then.
Well, I saw a thing on Panorama a little while ago, and it's the BBC. So it must
you're
be
the
true.
viewer.
It must be true that a lot of the recycling that we all dutifully and very carefully put into different compartments just goes into the landfill anyway.
Yes, exactly.
So what's the point?
Because
This is Ursula von der Leyen.
Hold on a second. I was talking to you. Weren't bloody listening that time. My friend who works in recycling says unless there aren't enough hands to do it, it'll just go into
exactly.
landfill.
So Ursula von der Leyen is probably personally responsible for this atrocity, making sure that the population of the EU, which is out there, however many tens of millions,
So what's this?
hundreds of millions of people.
You've got another bottle
Well,
of
I've got another
something
one
down
here.
there. Is
Oh,
that
right,
just a
man.
sample
But
for
you know
the
what?
doctor
It's like
later?
being on Blue Pizza.
No, but I'll tell you
Got
what.
one here I made earlier.
That is my ginger shot. I like a ginger shot from a certain.
Are you sure you haven't got that
certain
mixed up with
London
your urine
delicacy.
sample?
But I haven't opened that. Now,
very cloudy.
I genuinely am worried about opening that in the studio because the act
Come on.
of actually
Come on,
opening
I want to
it,
see. Come on,
it's going to spill.
Everybody
But it'll get in
wants
the
to
way
see you
when you
open
drink
that.
it. Of course it's not
Everybody.
gonna-
But
That won't spill.
here is the thing, right? As you take off the lid of an old bottle, pre-Ursula von der Leyen, what would happen is you could just go like that. Now, your action of opening it, because it's tethered...
it's got to be a bit more
there's
ginger, hasn't it? For your
Literally.
ginger shot.
Literally. Yeah. And again, oh look, I can do that.
In one.
But why
In
is
one.
it there?
Down
Doesn't
in
need
one.
to be
Save the
there,
planet.
does it?
In one.
No, I can't even drink it. I need a glass.
What's he talking
it's
about?
covered.
Of course you can
I'm
drink.
Come on, get that down you. It'll do you the power of good.
So it's no problem then.
But it is.
No, I agree. It's a real pain in the
Do you
arse.
know what it's like?
When
It's a
someone
bit
gives
like
you a
being...
tequila, do you drink a third of it?
No, do you know
man?
what? No, it's a bit like being forced to drive an electric car. This is the same thing.
Don't talk to me about electric.
We're being
cars.
forced to do things we don't want to do. We've got to stop.
I don't want to drive electric.
We need to leave the EU all over again.
So you
No
get
wonder Brexit
stickers on
was
there.
done
You've seen
properly.
these stickers on the back of Teslas now saying,
I bought it
this
before he
I
went
realised
bad."
he was a right winger. I'm gonna get a sticker that says I bought another one because he's so right wing.
I just like the other one. That there was one that just said, "I bought this before I realised he was nuts."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
But these are the same people that have been protesting about the planet that are now destroying cars that are designed to save the planet. How mad are these people?
Shall we move on to adolescence?
Yeah, this isn't the period of life we all go through when we're about 14. It's a reference to the smash hit Netflix drama starring
Now,
Stephen Graham.
Kevin O'Sullivan, as a previous TV critic, is more than qualified to comment on this.
I am
Please, Kev.
indeed. I am indeed. What I don't like about it, right? I did watch Adolescence. I don't get the chance to watch all that much telly these days, but I made the effort to watch this.
Telly is
and
the
I'm
lead.
through gritted teeth. I am reluctantly going to say that it is pretty damn good, to say the least.
It's excellent.
However, when I sat down to watch it, my intention was, I said to my wife, I said, whatever happens, I'm coming out the other end of this series hating every minute. And then I'm going to go on social media and say so, just to piss everyone off, because they all
be the only one.
Marvellous, marvellous, marvellous. Unfortunately, I wasn't really able to do that, because it is good. But what I don't like, I hate it, when the whole nation, indeed the whole world, comes together and goes, have you seen Adolescence? It's absolutely amazing. We had the same with that crap Mr. Bates versus the Post Office. Have you seen Mr. Bates versus... Oh, it's absolutely amazing. It's a real scandal. Have you seen Traitors? It's fantastic. It's pathetic. I hate it. Haven't we got anything better to do than all think the same things about television? In fact, I'm probably going to go on social media after this show and say I hate it anyway, just for the hell of it.
No, I think the tack you can take is this, Kev. All right. So yes, it was very good, particularly the third episode, which was
By the way, I haven't
fantastic.
seen any of it, so
Right.
please don't spoil
You've
it.
got that joy to come.
Yeah.
But it's the
Kid
way,
stabs
like you
other
say,
kid. That's it.
kid. It's the way that you say the chattering classes jump on board with it, to the point where now Keir Starmer had to back the idea this week of the Minister for Boys and Men.
Yeah, it's pathetic.
Sorry, there's going to be a minister.
No, there isn't, thankfully.
But yeah, no. If you want to get
did put himself forward.
Qualified.
young boys, actually. But if you want to get something done in this country, as Mr. Bates and his mates from the sub-post offices found out, get a TV drama made about you.
Yes.
Nothing was done about those poor people for donkey's years. Suddenly there's a TV drama, bang, they've all got
that's
a
a good
million
idea.
quid. Prime Minister saying justice for these. Suddenly, after adolescence, everybody's obsessed with toxic masculinity. We've got to do something about it. That may well be right, but it's
Is that a thing?
So take note.
It's
then.
pretty tragic.
Take note, farmers, waspy women, and
Is
you know,
it-
and so on,
it's-
and pensioners.
But
all
it's
they
tragic.
need is
It's
a drama.
tragic. It's tragic that we need a TV show to do anything about anything.
raise profile.
I've got it
It's
now for the
pathetic.
pensioners in the line of your own fire, which isn't working anymore.
No. Pensioners. It will be Frozen 4.
Yeah, no. Don't make a drama about. Don't make a drama about pensioners. Nobody cares about old people. Everybody knows.
Well, yeah, the Labour
That'll
Party
be a
definitely
flop.
don't.
I
That'll
do.
be a flop.
I'm rapidly becoming one. Anyway, any of those people that you're talking about there, Kev, would fall into my next grump is the fact that you can no longer be sacked for being rubbish at your job. So over the
To
years...
whom do you refer?
I refer to...
He was looking at you.
I refer... No. I refer to anyone in the workplace now, today.
Yeah.
You can be as rubbish as you like at your job, and you cannot be fired for
So you
being
think
rubbish
that's
at your
you
job
think it's
anymore.
bad now? So you know what's coming?
Oh, I know.
The Workers' Rights Act,
Oh, no,
which basically
don't-
means even if you're really rubbish, I mean, I suspect that you could probably sleep with the boss's wife, steal his car, and squat in his house
Well,
after Angela Rayner's finished, and you still won't lose your job.
Well, did you like that there was the postman who was signed off sick for some kind of pain and anxiety, and he was seen driving a cab,
Wow.
and they fired him, and they had to give him his job back and pay him £3,000.
So surely the clue is in a postman having anxiety. What was he scared of? Letterboxes? Or?
Yeah, dogs.
So when was the last time anyone was sacked from the BBC for
you
not
can't.
being very good at their job?
No.
Why isn't anyone being sacked right now for their coverage of Israel? Why isn't the head of news being
you
Her
can't
name
be
is Deborah
sacked for
Turner.
being
She should be
rubbish at your
fired
job
tomorrow.
anymore.
She's turned the BBC newsroom into an anti-Semitic hellhole. She's been doing this for 3 years. She's completely destroyed BBC journalism, and yet she won't get sacked.
And not
no
least-
one ever gets sacked at the BBC.
So not least
You
the
two
Hamas
gents-
no one ever
documentary.
gets sacked in the
You
civil
two,
service.
you've both been sacked in your time, haven't you?
You must be joking. I work in journalism. I've been sacked about 20 times.
Do you know what, Mark?
Never did me any harm.
I never have.
Well, you're
no, if
fired
you-
I
now.
tried hard
Yeah,
enough.
well, if you work in
He sacked me the other day.
yeah, I did sack you, yeah.
Facebook.
No, journalism, you get sacked all
Yeah,
the
you
time.
sacked me the other day.
In fact,
In the
you know,
words of Lord Sugar, you've both been fired. Thank you very much. That's all for this.